Yeah, good morning students. Now today we are going to learn the next topic, that is linearly dependent and independent of the vector. So the next topic is linearly dependent and independence. Linear dependence and independence. Right? Here you can say dependence. Linear dependence and independence. Now what is meant by linear dependence and independence? Let's go first for the definition of linear dependence and independence. And to understand this dependence and independence of the vectors, let us consider V is a vector space wherein there are various vectors v1, v2, vn, right? So let us say v1, v2, v3 up to vn. These are the various vectors which belongs to the vector space V, and this V vector space is belongs to the set of vectors K. Fine. And there are some scalars like alpha 1, alpha 2, dot 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 alpha n, right? And these are the scalars which belongs to K. And if the vector space V follows the condition summation of alpha I vi equals to 0, where I run from 1 to n. There are n number of vectors, no? With all scalar, what are the scalars? Alpha I equals to 0, right? Then the given vector or the given set of vectors v1, v2, v3, vn is said to be, I will write, then the given set of a vector vi are said to be linearly independent. Linearly independent vectors. What is the condition? Condition is that all alpha I must be equals to 0 with this equation, right? These are two very important conditions for linearly independent vectors. And to be a linearly dependent vectors, if it follows this condition but all alpha I are not equals to 0, all alpha I, any one of them is not equals to 0, then it is linearly dependent vector. Or an alternative way, I can say if alpha 1 v1 plus alpha 2 v2, this equation, plus dot 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 plus alpha n vn is equals to 0, but all alphas are not equals to 0. Alpha 1 equals to alpha 2 equals to dot 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 equals to alpha n. All must be equals to 0 to be a linearly independent vectors. To have linear dependence, any one of them is not equals to 0, then this is called as linear independence, right? Then I can say then vectors vi are said to be linearly dependent, right? Now let us solve some problems based on this, and there are two more conditions, or there are two more various ways of checking linear dependence and independence. That's by using Wronskian determinant and row echelon form. That we'll see later on. I hope you have understood this definition of linear dependence and independence. Once we finish with some examples, Then we'll go for the conditions using a Wronskian determinant and a row echelon form, right? So let's take the first problem for linear dependence and independence. So the very first problem, show that 1, 2 and 3, 4 1, 2 and 3, 4 are linearly independent. Let us indicate Li, that means linearly independent, and Ld, that means linearly dependent. Fine. Linearly independent means what? What is the condition? Condition is that V is equals to summation of alpha I Vi, where I runs from 1 to n number of vectors, wherein all alpha I is equals to 0. If the values of alpha is equals to 0, then the vectors are said to be linearly independent, right? So let us say the given vectors are, let V1 is equals to the first given vector and V2 is the second given vector to you, right? These are the two vectors. Then put it into the above condition. What is our condition? There are only two vectors. So I is equals to 2. So I runs from 1 to 2 only. So V is equals to summation I, which runs from 1 to 2, alpha I Vi, and I can write this equation as alpha 1 V1 plus alpha 2 V2. Isn't it? This is equals to 0. This must be equals to 0, provided alpha 1 and alpha 2 both must be go to a 0. Now let's calculate the values of alpha 1 and alpha 2, right? So this will give me alpha 1 into V1. What is the value of V1? 1, 2 plus alpha 2 V2 is a 3, 4 is equals to 0. This will give you two equations, and if you solve the equations, that will give you the values of alpha 1 and alpha 2. So I can write this by multiplying this scalar to the these vectors, and this will give you alpha 1 and 2 alpha 1. So alpha 1 and 2 alpha 1 plus this is 3 alpha 2 and 4 alpha 2 equals to 0. So this gives me alpha 1 plus 3 alpha 2, and this will be equals to 2 alpha 1 plus 4 alpha 2 equals to 0. Isn't it? So you can equate this right hand side, and this will give you the two equations. Let me write here. The first equation is alpha 1 plus 3 alpha 2 is equals to 0, and second is 2 alpha 1 plus 4 alpha 2 equals to 0, right? And to calculate the values of alpha 1 and alpha 2, let us eliminate any one of them. And if you want to eliminate alpha 1, let us multiply by 2 to this equation number 1, which will give you alpha 1 equal. And if you subtract this, subtraction of these two equations, this will give me 6 alpha 2 minus 4 alpha 2. So 6 minus 4 is 2. So 2 alpha 2 is equals to 0, which gives the value of alpha 2 equals to 0. We got one scalar, alpha 2 equals to 0. Similarly, put the value of alpha 2 into equation number either 1 or 2. If you put it in any one, then this will give me alpha 1 plus 3 alpha 2 equals to 0. If you put the value of alpha 2 equals to 0, this will give you the value of alpha 1 is equals to 0 here. As both scalars are equals to 0, and therefore the given vectors 1, 2 and 3, 4 are linearly independent vectors. If not equals to 0, then linearly dependent vectors, right? So hope you have understood this kind of a problem. We'll see one more problem. and after that I'll give you some homeworks to you and other methods to find out linear dependence and independence of the vectors, right? So let's go for the second problem based on the same method. Problem number 2. Show that the vectors u, v and w, u is equals to 1 minus 1 and 0. This is u. V is equals to 1 3 minus 1 3 minus 1 and w is equals to 5 3 and minus 2 5 3 minus 2. These are the three vectors u, v and w are linearly independent. That means assume that there are three alphas, alpha 1, alpha 2 and alpha 3 are the scalars, and capital V is equals to, or you can assume any other scalars, not necessarily always you consider alpha 1, alpha 2 and alpha 3 as the scalars or alpha n as the scalars only. You can use any other vectors as a1, a2, a3. So let us consider here a1, a2, a3 are the scalars. So a1 u plus a2 v plus a3 w, where a1, a2, a3 are the scalars whose values you are supposed to calculate, right? And put the vectors here. So therefore you will get here a1 into u is 1 minus 1 and 0 plus a2 1 3 minus 1 plus a3 and 5 3 minus 2 equals to 0. Of course this 0 you can write as 0 0 0, right? And then compare. Now this will give you, this will be a1 minus a1 and 0, and this is a1 a2 3a2 minus a2 5a3 3a3 minus 2a3 equals to 0. I will write directly and add the equations. So this is a1 plus a2 plus 5a3 equals to 0, right? So a1 plus a2 plus 5a3 equals to 0, isn't it? So I got the first equation. So let us say this is our equation number 1. Similarly, you can write the second equation, minus times a1 plus 3a2 plus 3a3 equals to 0. This is our equation number 2. And equation number 3 is a1 equals to 0 minus a2 minus 2a3 equals to 0. This is equation number 3. So out of these three equations, use any two equations and eliminate or calculate the values of a1, a2 and a3, right? So in order to calculate the values of a2 and a3, let us eliminate a1 first, right? And if you add equation number 1 and 2, there is no necessary to multiply by any scalars to any equation out of. So I will just say add equation 1 and 2. If you add equation 1 and 2, the addition will give you here, this a1 and a2 gets cancelled. a2 plus 3a2 will give you 4a2 and 5 plus 3, that is 8 a3 equals to 0. This is our new equation number 4, right? Now equation number 3 and 4, if you multiply to equation number 3 by 4, then this will be 4a2 and this is 4a2, and then add. So I can say multiply equation 3 by 4 and add to equation 4, then this will give me, let's write first this equation. So this will be minus 4a2 and minus 8a3 equals to 0, isn't it? And this is equals to 4a2 and this is plus 8a3 equals to 0, isn't it? So both are exactly equal. So a2 and a3 both are equal. So this is equals to 0 plus 0 equals to 0. What this indicate? This indicate that the value of a2 is equals to 0 as well as a3 is also equals to 0, right? So you get two scalars equals to 0, a2 and a3. Use these scalars into equation number 1. If you put equation number into equation number 1, the values of a2 and a3, a1 will be equals to 0. So I will just write here, put into equation 1, then a1 you will get equals to 0. And therefore here I can say, as all scalars are 0, therefore the given vectors u, v and w are linearly independent vectors, right? So this is the solution for this problem, right? Now let's go for the other methods to find out the linear dependence and independence vectors, and what are the conditions to find out the linear dependence and independence of the vectors. I'll just give you those conditions and then homework problems. So the second method of finding out the linear dependence and independence of the vector is by using the Wronskian determinant, right? Wronskian determinant. If this Wronskian determinant is equals to 0 and not equals to 0. If the Wronskian determinant, I will use the short form WD, that means the Wronskian determinant. If Wronskian determinant is equals to 0, then the vectors are said to be linearly dependent, and not, if equals to 0, linearly dependent, not equals to 0, linearly independent. Exactly opposite case to the case that we have just studied. What was the case that we have studied in case of scalars? If all scalars are 0, if all scalars equals to 0, then the vectors are said to be linearly independent. Here it is exactly opposite. And if all are not equals to 0, then linearly dependent. Simple case. Fine. One more form of finding, one more method of finding out the linear dependence and independence of the vector is using row echelon form, isn't it? So after transformation into row echelon form, so I will write here, after this case is valid for matrix form of vectors. After transforming into row echelon form, if number of non-zero rows and vectors are equal, number of non-zero rows and number of vectors are exactly equal, then the given set of vectors are said to be a linearly dependent vector. Linearly independent vector. And if the number of rows, non-zero rows, is less than number of vectors, then the given vectors are said to be linearly dependent. These are very important conditions as far as your competitive exams are concerned. So please remember all the conditions and solve the problem based on all these criteria: linear dependence and independence of the vectors, right? So let's go for homework problems. Now, what do you mean by row echelon form? You might be knowing what is meant by row echelon form. There are three criteria or conditions that must be followed to be a row echelon form. Suppose this is the matrix. Let us take any random matrix: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? If this is your matrix, then this is not a in row echelon form. To have the matrix in the row echelon form, you have to operate the operations, rows and columns operations on the given matrix, and once you operate the rows and column operations on the matrix, then this matrix will be transformed into a different matrix. While transforming this matrix, you should make sure that each row is having its leading element as a 1. What is meant by leading element? So in the first row this is a 1, this is called as the leading element. But in the second row there is nowhere 1. So you should operate in such a way that there should be 1 here, right? So this is the first condition. So let us take here 1 after some operations, right? Then this is the leading element of the second row. Similarly, you should work out in such a way that here you should get the 1 only, right? And let us change this one also. So this is 0, 0, suppose 1. So this 1 is the leading element. This is the first criteria of the row echelon form. Second criteria of the row echelon form is that if in the second row there is a 1, 0, here you should get higher number of zeros. This 1, 0 and this 1, 0, right? The second criteria. And the third criteria is this: if this is equals to 1 here, it's below you should have a 0, and above also you should have a 0. This is the third criteria, right? Isn't it? So you can search out something more about row echelon form. I'm not going to explain everything about the row echelon form and how to transform the given matrix into row echelon form. It is expected that you have studied this row echelon form in the SYBSc mathematics. If not, then you should try to learn something more about row echelon form and transformation of row echelon form. These conditions are important, or the point that we have to study here is how to find out the linear dependence and independence of the vectors. That's all. So let's go for some homework problems. Homework problem. The first homework problem is show that u equal to 6, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, v equal to 0, 5, minus 3, 1, and w equals to 0, 0, 7, minus 2 are linearly independent. First problem. Second is check whether the following vectors check whether the following vectors in R4 are linearly dependent or not. Are linearly dependent or not. What do you mean by R4? R4 means real vector space having 4 different vectors, right? Just like this, right? So, and there are three more examples, 1, 2 and 3. So the first vector is 1, 3, minus 1 and 4. 1, 3, minus 1 and 4. Second vector is a 3, 8. 3, 8, minus 5 and 7. And the next one is 2, 9, 4, 23. 2, 9, 4 and 23. Next is 1, 1, minus 2, 2, 1. The second is 2, 1, 0, minus 3. And the third one is 3, minus 6, 1, 4. 3, minus 6, 1, 4. Right? Now, these are the two examples only here. Right? And let's check whether there are some. I'll give you some more examples. The third one is, let UVW be the independent vectors, then show that let be the independent vectors then show that first u plus v, u minus v and u minus 2v plus w, and second u plus v, u plus w and w plus u, v plus w, here you must have v, and w plus u are also linearly independent, right? Fourth problem is check whether the following vectors are linearly independent or not. And I think I should fourth problem is problem number 4. Check whether following vectors are linearly independent or not, right? And its the first example is 1, minus 1, 2, 0, first vector. Second vector is 1, 1, 2, 0. Third is a 3, 0, 0, 1. Fourth one is a 2, 1, minus 1, 0. Right? Second is 1, 0, 0, 0. 1, 1, 0, 0. And 4 times 1. And fourth is a 0, 0, 1, 1. Third one is 1, minus 1, 0, 1. Triple 0, 1. 2, minus 1, 0, 1. And fourth one is 3, 2, 1, 0. Next example is a fifth one. Or I can put the same example as a fourth one here. Check whether the following vectors are linearly independent or not, or linearly independent. And here alpha 1 is equals to 2 minus 3 1, alpha 2 is equals to 3 minus 1 5, and alpha 3 is equals to 1 minus 4 3, right? And the next is a fifth one. This problem is actually based on earlier topic, but still it's okay. Show that the vectors 2 minus 5 3 cannot be expressed as a linear combination of vectors alpha 1 equals to 1 minus 3 2, and alpha 2 equals to 2 minus 4 minus 1, and alpha 3 equals to 1 minus 5 and 7. So these are the 5 different homework problems for you, and tomorrow we'll go for the next topic. So we'll stop now here. Thank you.